video, and then I've got to cook supper and then pick up my family for dinner. But just for fun, I was doing some house chores today and then had to get a shower in, of course. There we go, adjusting that camera. And while I was doing some house chores, I was rearranging some stuff in my bedroom, which is not this. This is my husband's man cave. And I found a whole bunch of My Little Ponies. Well, maybe whole bunch is the wrong phrase. I actually have a little My Little Pony collection. So, just for fun, I thought, before I cook dinner, I would go ahead and go over my limited experience with My Little Pony. Um, when I was a baby, My Little Pony was, I think, going through its second animated phase and still first toy phase, if that makes sense. So, my first experience with My Little Pony didn't actually come from the toys. There's actually a My Little Pony cartoon movie. It's on YouTube somewhere. I'm not sure who it was that uploaded it. But that's where the characters on my t-shirt from Five Below come from. The movie that originally came out before the first TV series was actually pretty cool. It involves this human girl. Where's she at? There she is. She's on the t-shirt here. I don't remember her name. She was not that interesting to me. Cute, just not as interesting. Um, she was a nice girl, just you're cute, but you're not rainbow bright. That's kind of where I was as a baby. So, the premise is this girl, she gets sort of wrapped up into the business of the My Little Ponies, and they have to go to this spooky castle where some of the ponies have been kidnapped and held hostage and held prisoner, and the ponies actually fight in this movie. And it's amazing because, like, you see rainbow powers and you see these colorful ponies juxtaposed with, like, super dark thunderstorm backgrounds and these scary monsters. So, being a baby in the 80s, I was totally into this movie. It's somewhere on YouTube. I wish they would put out, like, a Blu-ray of it because it's a really good film. It might be my favorite My Little Pony piece of media. But I do like this film. And I remember I used to have a My Little Pony folder set that was kind of based on the characters that were used in that movie. I think I lost the folders in the flood when I was 12. I don't remember the last time I might have seen them. But I used to have folders, I had some school supplies, and that was the beginning and end of my whole thing with My Little Pony when I was little. When the toys were first popular, I was still too young for a lot of it. When I started to get old enough to get into the toys, the TV show, which has nothing in common with that cool movie I just mentioned, it was in reruns in my area, but I didn't really get into it. There was like one episode I remember being played out of order where like the older ponies were being kind of ageist and mean to the little baby ponies. I didn't really like that as a kid. So I didn't really get into the TV show. And then as I got older, I didn't have the toys because like by that point they'd gone up in price. So when I was a little girl, I had to make choices with whatever allowance money I had. So it was either you're going to buy a Barbie or you can buy a My Little Pony. You can't afford both. And I would always choose Barbie or an action figure because they came with more. My Little Pony was just a pony that barely moved and a brush or a comb if you were very lucky. So I didn't really get into collecting until I was a little bit older. So my first My Little Ponies actually come from McDonald's. I just washed all of my pony's hair for the video too. I didn't get a chance to brush it yet. But my first ever My Little Ponies came from McDonald's. These are, I believe, G2, Generation 2 ponies. I don't remember the names too well. I think this one was named Ivy. Yeah, you know what? Her name is Ivy because of the little ivy they put on her butt. This was the first My Little Pony I ever received. And I remember liking her because she's got my two favorite colors going on. She's got seafoam green and she's got a pink tail. And then bonus points, this is mostly purple in her mane, but if you look up close, since I just washed it, there's little streaks of pink all the way through. And she's in a different pose than the ponies that I remember the kids at school playing with. So she's got more of an active personality, I guess. And I liked that they did like this little rainbow thing on the hooves. So this was my first ever My Little Pony. And let me remember, I think these came out mid to late 90s, somewhere between 96 and 98. So I would have been a tween. So it wasn't until I was a tween that I started getting into My Little Pony collecting. This was the first one. And I begged my mom to take me back to McDonald's. I was big on collecting McDonald Land Happy Meal toys. I've always had a connection to them. Years prior to this, in 94, I was homeless for 4 months. And I survived off of McDonald's and Burger King. And let me tell you, those toys, they took all the angst and fear away. So I have like happy memories whenever I see kids' meal toys. So went back to McDonald's, got my second ever pony. Hey Holden, you're actually just in time because that was the first one. So the only thing you missed, Holden, was I talked about how I first found out about My Little Pony and how the t-shirt that I have is from Five Below and it's kind of connected to the first My Little Pony movie. Look for it on YouTube. It's way cooler than it has any right to be. So anyway, this is my second My Little Pony. I think her name is Sundance. I'm pretty sure her name is Sundance because she's got a sun on her butt. And I don't know if it comes up in the camera because it's like yellow against pink, but there it is. I remember loving this one in my McDonald's Happy Meal because she's got sparkly gem eyes. And I used to have Sparkle Eye Barbie. I lost my Barbie in the flood, but I still have my pony. So I still have that little memory there. Her mane is mostly blue, but there's purple and pink also in there. And that's really cute. There were 4 ponies in total at McDonald's. The fourth one I never got. I remember she was pink. I think she had either orange or blonde. I cannot remember which one that was. But then I kept getting Lightheart. I kept getting Lightheart over and over. So this is Lightheart. And I have 3 of them. Let's see here. I got some more comments. The pink pony is Sundance. The mint green is Ivy. The white one is Lightheart. Ha! I got it right. I can't believe I got it right. I'm so bad at remembering My Little Pony names. You have no idea. It's actually gotten worse since I hit my 30s. Let's see. G2, My Little Pony is sort of the black sheep of all My Little Pony generations. And yet, that's the first one that I get to collect. Isn't that funny? There was a 4th one. She was pink like Sundance, but she had, I think, pink or yellow in her mane. I have no idea what her name was. I never saw her. But I got 3 of Lighthearts. So this is Lightheart, and they're like slightly different. Like this one has a little bit more orange in her tail. It's starting to look a little bit better since I washed it, because this is like straight orange. Now there's blonde, orange, pink going on with the purple. And then I got a second one. This one I used to braid, because like even though I washed her tail, like you can still see where the braid was. This one, her hair plugs were separated. So I would like braid the plugs separately. I would comb the purple and then the pink and the yellow separately and then braid it. And I would do like little braid patterns in her tail all the time. So this one was the most played with. Because I braided her tail the most, this was also one of my war ponies. So I used to play war with my Barbies. In 1999, McDonald's had a mini Millennium Princess Barbie just without her crown. I should look for that one. When I was a tween, I used to play war, especially after Mulan came out in 98. I used to play war with my action figures and then with my Barbies and then sometimes with My Little Pony. So this would be like one of my war ponies. So she got a lot of action and play. And then I went back to McDonald's right as the campaign was ending. Like the day we went, they were switching out the posters. They were taking down My Little Pony and they're putting up something else. I don't remember what it was. It might have been something Disney, but not Mulan. I have a limited memory of whatever this was. Um, it was either something Disney or something not related to anything I was going to be watching. There's a wiki somewhere out there for McDonaldland toys, so I know it's out there somewhere. I just need to take a moment and look. But I thought maybe because it was the last day, I would get someone not Lightheart. I would get that fourth mystery pony. Nope, got Lightheart again. So, with my third and final Lightheart, I begged my mom to help me change Lightheart's hair. Because at this point, I noticed that of all the My Little Ponies that were available when I was a little girl, and of all the My Little Ponies that were at that point available in my tween years, there were no boys sold in my area at all. And I didn't think that was fair. I was never into misandry or anything, even as a little girl. I always figured if I have girl dolls, I want boys too. Can't wait for more unboxing videos. We do an unboxing of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Turtles, I lost a lot of my Turtles stuff in the flood too. When I was 12, I survived a flood. So I lost a lot of my Barbies. I used to have more Turtles stuff. What survived? I have a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pinball game that I got during the pandemic. And I have my childhood Raphael astronaut figure. And I might maybe have a Burger King toy. I don't know if it survived. I have to look through what I have left, which isn't much. As for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, I do have a big collection. I haven't actually looked at it since Jason David Frank died. I only got to meet him once. He was my childhood crush. When I met him, it was very brief. He was a very sweet person. And I watched him talk a fan out of suicide, which is why I can't process how we lost him. I'm in therapy, and when I can get to a point where I can talk about Jason David Frank and Tui Train at the same time and not cry, then I will do an unboxing video because I've got some Tommy figures and a Ninjor figure that I want to do an unboxing video of because Ninjor was one of my favorite characters. But right now, I'm not ready for Power Rangers yet. And it sucks because I love the Power Rangers movie. That's one of my favorite movies. I don't care what the critics say. But I'm just not ready to go through that yet. Soon. I'm in therapy. So it's not forever. It's just for right now. By the way, Johnny and Bosch is one of my favorite people to follow on social media. I love following his accounts. So anywho, the day they took down the McDonald's campaign, I got one more Lightheart. Never found that fourth pony. So I asked my mom to help me change this last pony into a boy character because I didn't like the fact that of all the My Little Ponies that were available in my area, there were no boys. Barbie has Ken and Steven and Skipper has Kevin and Usagi has Momoru and everything that I collected had a boy somewhere there. Ariel has Eric and the Belle has the Beast. Jasmine has Aladdin. Why are there no boy ponies? If I've got girl ponies, I want a boy pony. So my mom got some acrylic paint and she taught me how to customize dolls and how acrylic paints, which are dirt cheap and you can find them at the Dollar Tree and any craft store you want and Walmart, acrylic paints are perfect for toys. Perfect. Whether you want to touch up a Barbie or you want to paint a new figure, acrylics are where it's at. So my mom taught me about customizing toys, and then she painted my third Lightheart figure, and we made a boy. We used royal blue and some Well, it turned into Kelly green. It was supposed to be emerald, but it's more of a Kelly green, but it's a cooler shade, so I'll live with it. So we put blue and purple, blue and green in his hair, and I braided his tail differently. And this is actually the same braid from when I was a tween. I haven't changed this. And I think I named him Stardust. I know there's another My Little Pony character who's a girl, and her name is Stardust, but she wasn't sold in my area, so I have Boy Stardust. And there's also a wrestler. His name is Cody Rhodes. He used to be Stardust, so that's pretty funny. So this was my boy. And then after, let's see. So sorry you went through that. When I heard about JDF's passing, I was devastated. Yeah, I actually have, if you scroll through somewhere on my channel, I actually have a tribute video that I did, between crying fits where I talked about it. And it's like a sneak peek of what I have. I've got a couple of Power Ranger plushies, and those were my childhood favorites. I have a few action figures left that I didn't lose in the flood, and I kept all my Power Ranger books. I'm so pissed at that flood because I used to have the whole McDonald's set from the movie. I had the special pay extra for this figures that came with Zords, and then I had all the movie toys, like all the little gadgets, and I'm so pissed I lost them all in the flood. But yeah, somewhere on my feed I have a JDF related video. I it's just been, and I didn't get a picture with him because, like I said, he was talking a fan out of suicide, so I didn't want to make things worse. I have pictures with a lot of Power Rangers. I wish I'd gotten one with him, but that day just meant a lot to me, seeing how he dropped everything to save a fan. So I've just not been able to deal with that since. But let's roll back to My Little Pony for a moment. So these G2 figures, this was it for me for a long time. For many years, I had no more interaction with My Little Pony. G2 was kind of here and gone in my area. And then they went to G3, and there were anorexic ponies. I'm sorry to use that word, but they were so unhealthy skinny. Like, it looked like those animal abuse videos from PETA. It was just gross. And then they came out with like a cartoon for the G3 ponies, and they just kind of came off to me as cardboard. I didn't really gel with any of the personalities, so I did not get into that. I just figured I'm aging out of this, so I must not be the right age group. When My Little Pony Friendship is Magic came out, yeah, Lightheart is special. I love having a boy pony. When Friendship is Magic came out, I remember everybody lost their shit for this. Everybody loved Friendship is Magic. I've yet to really get into it. I've seen a few out of order episodes because at the time that it was starting to become popular, I was 26. And I was about to move in with who is now my husband, John. And I remember reruns used to air on this channel that doesn't exist anymore called Hub. And I'm really upset that Hub doesn't exist because it was a fun channel. They aired Batman the Animated Series in the middle of the night. They had He-Man, She-Ra. They had Gem, which was how I first saw Gem, because like my mom had the Gem dolls but hated the TV show. So this was my first interaction with the TV show. And they had like different My Little Pony reruns throughout the day, and Friendship is Magic was one of them. I have a vague memory of seeing like one episode where basically the ponies were farting. And I was like, how do we go from like fighting monsters in a castle to being mean to each other to farting? Like, because I wasn't consistently watching, I didn't understand the context. Big fan of Friendship is Magic here. I remember when the Hub was brand new in late 2010. Yeah, that's how I found out about it. But again, the episodes I saw were out of order, and I didn't really click with it, so I figured, okay, I'm 26. I'm not the right generation for this. Or so I thought. Boy, was I ignorant. So, fast forward a couple of years, I am now married with John. We are in Kentucky, and for a couple months he worked at a comic book store, which does not exist anymore. And the comic book store had the Friendship is Magic comics. And this is how I found out that bronies are a thing. Like, I was mildly aware of bronies, but it was like that snickering quiet thing in the back of fandoms that nobody wanted to talk about. So at this point, I'm not online as often as I had been before, and I am now. I took like a little internet mini break, so I had no idea. But bronies are like super a thing. And even in Kentucky, where it's like super conservative, you can still find bronies. And I found a lot of bronies. And when I say bronies, I don't just mean, oh, I'm a dude and I like My Little Pony. Cool. Because I know a lot of dudes who love My Little Pony. No, I mean like these guys dressed up like Applejack. She was a big one in Kentucky. Rainbow Dash was like the second favorite in Kentucky. And there were a few that like wore the ears and the mane and like one or two other items that were Pinkie Pie. So that's when I learned that, there was a brony culture and that this was a version of My Little Pony that transcended everything. Oh, hi, Kissy Kissy. So I read a few issues of the Friendship is Magic comic book and I started to realize I pegged this show wrong. Older 80s vintage pony is expensive and valuable. I'm not getting into that. No, not with my budget, no. So I started to realize there was more to the story. I just never actually sat down and watched the whole thing. So whatever I saw was going to be like out of order, out of context. The next thing that I saw was a documentary about bronies that used to be on Netflix. And that's where I got a lot of my information corrected. And it's actually an interesting documentary if you can find it again. It's just called Bronies. It's real easy. And Dr. Hooves is in it. And when I learned that Dr. Hooves is like now considered a real thing, he's not just a fan created thing, I was just like, okay, you have my attention. He looks like David Tennant, and I love Doctor Who. So, again, that was kind of beginning and end. I didn't really get into collecting or anything until a couple of years ago. So, right before the pandemic started to really slap this area pretty hard, I started to notice that some of the ponies were popping up at like Goodwill and on like little auction sites and such. And when the pandemic made everybody go away, um, I got into Mercari. I found out about Mercari through my husband's now late mother. It was one of the two stores that she enjoyed going to. And she told me about Mercari. So I checked it out and spent way too much money. And there was one dude who had a grab bag. It was like two Sailor Moon dolls, a Hair Mazing doll, I think it's called, and then a My Little Pony Equestria Girl action figure. And when I looked at the action figure, I was like, you know what? I'm working on a series of dolls based on my what if characters for like future children of Helios and Chibiusa. I can paint this one, maybe sew a little skirt for her, and make her a daughter of Helios. So I got Applejack, and Applejack's paint was already scratched up. So I was like, this paint job is not going to cause me any consternation. So I repainted her, put some Mod Podge on there, put some accessories on, and made a daughter for Helios, or Pegasus. So this is one of many incarnations I've made of Ellis. Ellis is my most consistent character. Two Sailor Moon dolls, they may have been very rare. Yeah, this dude did not know what he had. They were two of the Bondi dolls. The ones that were there before Irwin took over the license in the United States. Yeah, he didn't know what he had. Of course I'm taking advantage. It's $10 and I get 4 dolls. Yes, please. So, I repainted Applejack to be one of many incarnations of Ellis, my most consistent daughter for Helios. Didn't paint the blue in the hair, got the pink going on, figured that's enough because I can't really take paint fumes that well. I found this really trippy ribbon. It's really thick, but it's got like the iridescent colors that I love. And it's like a light blue. And I gave her red glitter bows. And then the gems I chose because on my first Photoshop that I made of Ellis, or Sailor Elysian Moon for Moon Sisters, I put little dream mirrors where Chibiusa would have hearts or moons. So this is supposed to represent dream mirrors, and she would be the guardian of the moon, the earth, and Elysian all at the same time. So this was a fun little project. And then I started to think, well, what other little ponies could I get to be a child for Helios slash Pegasus? So I went to Five Below, where I got this awesome shirt, and they have, oh, what is her name? I think her name is Zip. Now, I did a video with Zip a long time ago. Well, thank you, Holden. I did a video featuring Zip with some of the other children of Helios a long time ago. I got Zip's gender wrong. I thought, because of how the commercial was for the G5 movie, that Zip was a boy. I was wrong. She's a princess. That's Supergirl. So, I want to apologize because I should have paid attention. I should have taken 5 seconds to Google Zip. I didn't even do that. But I liked Zip because Zip already has like the bright pink hair and the wings, and I figured that would be perfect as a child of Helios. And I was going to repaint Zip, but Zip already looks perfect, so I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to leave Zip as is. I have some children of Helios where I leave the eyes blue, and that's just a throwback to Usagi, because Chibiusa and Kosagi's pink hair is a throwback to Akiko. So I just kind of have that as like a little throwback gene. Recently, you may have seen the short video, went to the Goodwill, and I couldn't believe that the Princess Celestia, was just hanging out there for $6. She was $6.99. I couldn't believe it. So, not realizing what I had, I took her home, and I only did this because her wings are gorgeous. This iridescent, I am all about this. Her hair is really soft and pretty. It just needed a hair washing. And her tail is all curly. So I gave her a wash and I restyled her hair. Then all of a sudden I hit this button, not paying attention. I didn't even notice the button until I was cleaning. All of a sudden,
my wings are so pretty. I will light the way. Spectacular. Let's fly to the castle. My barrettes look so pretty. Flying is so much fun. I love when you comb my hair. I am Princess Celestia. Oh, my hair looks beautiful. I love to make new friends. You're my best friend.
I had no idea. And when I hit the button the first time, the first thing she said was, "I love what you did with my hair." And I was like, what the hell? I didn't know what to think. But like after I cleaned her, like her blush came out. I could see there was glitter in her eyeshadow. And, not knowing enough about the character, I just thought she was really pretty. And like she's got a sparkly horn to go with the wings. So I felt like a kid again. I picked her up just because she was pretty. And I didn't realize she would talk. So then, I have one last pony from Five Below. Walked past this while I was picking up a new USB port for my laptop, and with the pink and the lavender, I thought maybe another child for Helios. The lavender would be a throwback to Keen Endymion. So this one is named Potion Nova. This is one of the newest ponies to hit my area. And I guess Potion Nova comes with a surprise. So let's find out. I'm going to open the blister pack. And this is going to be the first time I touch this pony ever. So Potion Nova comes with a comb. Looks like a little cloud almost. But like, there's like a little thing on the bottom. It won't come up in the camera, I bet. But like, like a little potion thing on the bottom, and the rest looks like a cone, like a cloud. So, okay. So Potion Nova comes with a surprise, and I don't know what this would be. So we're going to learn together, because I didn't know that they come with these. Okay. So we have a little hair clip. It's super bright in here, so you probably can't tell. Oh, this is actually perfect for Sailor Moon. It's a bunch of little, it's a crystal cluster that looks like the ones we see in Elysian and in Crystal Tokyo. Now it's perfect. Now I'm glad I picked this up. Some purple hair ties, little ponytail holder there. It's actually two of them, but you gotta peel one from the other. And then, oh, this is perfect. It's a little crown. This is perfect. Now I'm glad I got this one because it's going to be perfect for the Helios project. And Potion Nova comes with a little piece of paper. Okay, it's basically just a bunch of copyright stuff. So this could have been a text. You already printed it on the back. I don't know why they would do this again. Save a tree. Don't do that. Okay, so Potion Nova has like these little crusty yellow ties. I'm going to take that out of their hair. I'm not sure if this is a girl. Well, maybe it's a girl. She's got eyeshadow. Okay. So Nova can move her head in all sorts of realistic ways. And there's like a little baby pink eyeshadow and blue-green eyes and pink, purple, light blue hair. Haven't seen the new My Little Pony figures. May have to look for them. Can't wait to see a Helios version. Five Below has these little ponies. If you go to whatever, well, each store is different. I found this one at a point in the store that has like this wall of, excuse me, girl toys. I don't really like the fact that it's considered girl because guys get into this too, but we're still dealing with gendered marketing out here. But like, Potion Nova was in this little section with some new Rainbow Bright figures and Strawberry Shortcake and some Barbie accessories. And then above that are the Zuru fairy dolls, but not like the ones with like the pink and the blue hair, just the basic ones with like blonde and red and brown hair. And then next to the My Little Pony figures, they have a little set of the Zuru pony figures that are a little bit bigger, and some like little knockoff Kelly dolls that they have there, which also come with like a little pony. I have one of them. And then Nova has a little bottle there. So Nova is into science. And wow, Nova's hair's soft. Must brush mane and tail. Must. Nova's tail is baby pink. So most of the colors are in the mane. And this is a little tiny unicorn. I'm glad I got this. Let's put the crown on her head. I'm guessing it's a her. I haven't paid attention to this in forever. So I got the crown and the hair clip, which is very Elysian and very much going to stay with this one. Snap that on. Yes. Princess of Elysian. Yes, you are. Yes. These combs don't comb anything. I'm using an old Barbie brush. Yes. Give me back my 90s Barbie brushes, Mattel. Okay, so here she is with her sister then. So we've got 3 little girls for Helios. So far. I have a bucket of other children for Helios. Like, talk about a busy priest. Okay, well that's pretty much gonna do it. It's what time is it over here? Oh, snap. It's 10:03. I've got to hurry up and cook dinner and then pick up my husband, my mom, and my little brother. So I am super behind all of the things. But thank you so much for checking out my little pony collection, and it is quite little. Um, oh, you are quite welcome from the stream, and thank you for joining me, Kissy Kissy and Holden. Thank you so much for joining me. I am gonna go work on dinner and think about what I'll be streaming next because I still have some dolls that never got unboxed, and I've got some Sailor Moon stuff I haven't unboxed. So I will think about what my next video will be about, and hopefully I will see you all soon.